what's up, snipers? Sniper Nick here, and tonight we're gonna go over the watch list for tomorrow morning. This is gonna be a good one because we had a couple big spikers this morning. You can actually see these stocks, these big intraday moves, and then we'll see which ones have potential to continue, and also what we're looking at outside of those that could set up. We do have some OTC plays, so that's nice to see. We have a mix of both. So let's go ahead and let's dive right in. Oh, actually, real quick before I dive in, I want to give a quick shout out. Sniper Jarrett has been crushing it in the chat. He's had consecutive green days. So big shout out today, Jarrett. He was able to sell AUPH. Jarrett was able to swing this from 540s. So over here at the end of the day, and he got a sell in the morning right here, all out at 1685. Nice swing, Jarrett. AUPH was the former big spiker a couple of days ago that we were talking about in the chat. So nice keeping your eye on it and keeping it on your watch list, capitalizing on that and taking that cash. My boy Jarrett, always showing up and always crushing it early. All right, so let's go ahead and let's dive into our watch list. This is for tomorrow morning, Wednesday, December 11th. The first group of stocks are listed low float runners that all made 50% plus intraday moves. First, I want to start with VTGN. This move happened in the morning. It had a huge spike, spiking over 50% from its breakout here at 948. And this one was interesting because they actually got FDA fast track news on one of their drugs that's in phase 3. Phase 3 is the last phase. It was actually lining up with this gap down resistance here of 55. In the morning, it held that gap down resistance of 55, and when it made a high over that 55 and popped over 57, we saw a nice push. So that was a nice morning push for VTGN, and now it actually dipped. I thought it would hold some of its gains. Rare to get that fast track phase 3 news. So a shitty listed stock under $1. Rare to get that FDA news. So pretty cool. We'll see. We'll keep an eye there. The next low flow play that spiked today was TCCO, and this spiked big in the morning. They came out with earnings last night. They ended up having a big pop pre-market, as you can see here, when it spiked from the 370s to 750. In the morning when it opened, the longs got washed out. People took their profit. But from 945 here all the way to 1045, pretty much 1030, we see consolidation, and it actually holds 5 here. And then it gets this pop above VWAP, another big push from 530 to 9. And that's in 10 minutes. So this one actually made its 50% move in 10 minutes. And as you can see, it continued. This is the power of a low float. The last one on the list, CEI. And this is the one that we're keeping an eye on for tomorrow, because check this out. This had a delayed spike, so really didn't see any volume until 11. But when it did see the volume, it got its first spike, as you can see, from 72 to 1, topped out in that key at that key 1 spot, and it created a little bit support here in the 90s. As you can see, it floated around in the 90s and ended up creating support from 1145 to 1230, and then it got a nice continuation, continuing that 30% on the push there. CEI wild runner, and that is the special thing with these low float plays. And that's the key with each one of these guys. Each one of these are low float. So as you can see on the bottom, we list a low float for each. CEI 4.3, VTGN a little bit larger, 37 mil. That one has that news article. And then TCCO 1.4 mil. Another key factor for this is the average volume, which is right here. 624 average volume on CEI, trade over 6 mil. 470K for VTGN, trade over 9.8 mil. TCCO only 9K average volume, wild, and then it traded 28 mil today. All right, the next group of stocks on our list are 2 cannabis stocks, OTC cannabis plays that both have been trying to bounce off their lows this week, and they both actually held their gains into the close today. So these are these 2 stocks yearly charts lined up side to side from August. Red days are really pounding these stocks, but they do have some bounces in it. And the reason they have bounces is because these were big spikers back in the day. Both these actually helped us a lot on our journey, making it out of $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to end up creeping up to where we're at. So these ones are always on the radar. And the first green days, they could offer opportunities here. As you saw with CVSI when it made this first green day, went from 154 and then continued for 3 days to 270. So pretty interesting, both CVSI and MRMD. They are seeing some kind of bottom these past couple days. CVSI is really these past 2 days, it had a nice spike. Today it had a spike over 1 and ended up holding it to the close. MRMD, this one, it really ended up bottoming down at 53. And now it's trying to come back up to a key spot here of 65. Keeps touching that spot, but it can't get past it. And really, it doesn't have the volume right now to get too excited. But if volume creeps in, this is the time for this stock to come out with a news article. And they're famous for that. Look at these big spikes back in the day. So keep an eye on MRMD. But with CVSI, it did have a nice push, as you can see, you know, from at 140 when it made that new high. And it's looking nice. It's looking like it could get a gap up. However, lately, you know, even if it does get a gap up, CVSI has been the king of shakeouts. So we'll keep an eye to see if this one sees sellers in the morning. And if it does, the dip has to be kind of deep and it has to be quick. So ideally it dips around this 93 support, 93, 94 area. But hopefully the cannabis stocks end up picking up. We did see CGC, the leader of the pack, found their CEO. Ended up being a former CFO, so he's good with numbers, so that could be good for them. Hopefully that sparks that stock up and gets the rest of these stocks moving. Also, minor league baseball randomly is allowing players to smoke cannabis now. So maybe that'll spark something up with these cannabis plays. That news was announced today. So let's see. And last guys on the list are a group of sub-penny stocks. So these are stocks that aren't even a penny. Under a penny. We got 3 here: FTXP, SBES, and PCTL. They each have a little story behind them. I'm going to start with the first one, FTXP. Look at this amazing move today. From 1 and ended up going to 3. Unbelievable. 300% in 1 day. That's the power of these sub-pennies. The OTC land is so much better than a lot of people think it is. Beautiful breakout later on in the day over 2 to push it to 3. So even a 50% breakout later on after it created support. A nice, really nice move here with FTXP. We'll see what's going to happen. It made a 300% push already. Next, SBES. Really just wanted to bring this up because this is another OTC sub-penny that ended up turning to a penny after it broke out on Friday from 6.3. It's now been running from 6.3. It topped out at 1.6 today, but it made it to penny land, which is awesome. So this just shows the opportunity of these fresh breakouts on these OTC sub-pennies. And this actually helped our account out a lot when we were at like 500, 600, when we were really down there. This really helped our account out, these sub-pennies. So it's nice to see a couple of them come back. And then lastly, guys, this is the one that's highest on our radar for tomorrow, PCTL. This is, I guess, a pretty fresh one. As you can see, it's really the first day. This is not really a first green day, really no volume. So this is the first green day with volume. Couldn't hold its gains into the close. However, it is holding above that 3.8 resistance break. And the next resistance after the higher day from today is 0.007. So no news like the other ones. This one's a little bit more choppier, but we're going to keep an eye on it because it did spark up with volume. And we're on it first now for this one. And then lastly, guys, APTO. The group will be able to check that out. We've been following this one for a little bit. Let's see if this one can make it back up to that 397 spot. It did close at its high. As you can see, we said from yesterday's watch list, this will still be on the watch list if it holds 313 and finds some more support today, Tuesday. And so let's see if that one could get a push back up to test that 4 spot. It got a nice push after it broke out, and it's holding its breakout. It's holding that breakout spot, which we like. So we're keeping it on the list for tomorrow. All right, guys, good stuff. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment. Let us know if you like any of these tickers. If you found any tickers that we should look up, or if you really like or want to talk about, let us know. All right, guys, Sniper Nick and the Sniper team. We'll catch you guys in the chat tomorrow. See you, snipers.